Have you ever started a new habit before? The workout plan, the morning routine, the productivity system that was finally going to fix everything. And for about 4 days, it was perfect. And then the novelty wore off. The habit quickly died. And you added one more entry to the long list of things that started and you did not finish. If that cycle is the story of your life, I promise you it's not because you're lazy or weak. It's because almost every piece of that habit advice that you've ever heard before was written for a brain that is not wired like yours. And today I'm going to show you how to build habits that actually stick to an ADHD brain, a brain that is wired to chase what is new. Hi, I'm Dr. Jamey Cunningham. I'm a health psychologist and Army veteran, and today I'm welcoming you to the Dragonfly Mindset because I want to talk about why normal habit advice fails. Most habit advice rests on one assumption. It's the assumption that if you continue to repeat a behavior long enough, like Dr. Maxwell Maltz said in his book Psycho-Cybernetics, it becomes automatic and effortless. And then you start to coast. Well, for a typical brain, that is roughly true. But for an ADHD brain, it often is not. And here is why. Now, ADHD affects approximately 6% of the adult population in the United States. To understand it, you have to understand dopamine. Let me define it. Dopamine is your brain's motivation and reward chemical. It is the signal that says, this is worth doing. Pay attention to this. And the ADHD brain tends to run low on available dopamine for ordinary and repetitive tasks. And it gets much bigger dopamine response from things that are new and exciting and urgent or challenging. That's why ADHD people, they can start 1,000 fires like nobody ever seen, but they just can't keep them going. And so when a habit is new, it's interesting. And your brain floods with dopamine and the habit is easy. But the moment that that habit becomes routine and the very thing that is supposed to make it stick, well, that's repetition and that drains the novelty and the dopamine disappears. For most people, repetition builds a habit. But for the ADHD brain, repetition can quietly kill the motivation to keep going. And that is the trap. And once you see it, you can build around it. Now, Dr. Russell Barkley, one of the foremost researchers that I've studied on ADHD, gives us the key. He argues that ADHD is not the problem of knowing what to do. It is the problem of doing what you know, and what he calls the point of performance. The point of performance is the exact moment and place where the action needs to happen. This is huge. It means that the solution to ADHD habits is almost never more information or more inspiration. You already know you should exercise. You already know you should plan your day. You already know you should clean the kitchen, clean your bedroom, do the homework, all those things. So the solution, however, is to engineer the moment of action. So the right behavior happens without depending on motivation that may never show up. Now, on this channel, I use the BioPsychosocial model. So let me frame this fast. Biologically, your brain needs novelty, an immediate reward to act, and it cannot manufacture motivation on command. Psychologically, you have to stop measuring yourself by streaks and perfection, because all of the all or nothing story is what turns one missed day into quitting. Socially and environmentally, you design your surroundings and your relationships so the cue is loud, the start is easy, and I'm talking about the start to a habit, and the reward is immediate. If you work all three and habits finally hold perfectly. Now, when I'm working with my clients on a one-on-one or in the clinic, or I teach them some core strategies. Strategy number 1, anchor the new habit to an existing one. Do not try to remember the new behavior out of thin air, because your internal manager is unreliable. You got to fire that person. Instead, you have to attach it to something that you already do, or something you do automatically. After I pour my morning coffee, I take my medication. If I have to take a new medication, I put the medication right by the coffee. So when I'm just taking my normal coffee, because that's the habit, I take the medication. After I sit down at my desk, I write my three priorities for that session or for the day. The old habit becomes a cue for the new habit. If I'm going to brush my teeth, but I also want to practice Spanish for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I will have my toothbrush sitting on some cue cards, or a reminder to play the Spanish tape, whatever the case may be. I'm just giving you some examples. Okay. The old habit becomes the cue for the new habit. Strategy number 2, make the reward immediate. A typical brain can work toward a payoff that is sometimes weeks away, months away. The ADHD brain, however, needs the reward now. Give it to me now. So pair the habit with something pleasurable in the moment. Only listen to your favorite podcast while you're walking. So if you have a goal to work out, but you like to watch, I don't know, a particular Netflix movie, don't watch the Netflix movie, any place else except for walking. If you have to hold it there, but do the habit. Or I have a recumbent bike. I ride my recumbent bike when I'm watching or studying different things on, psychology, or studying, used to do it for schoolwork, that kind of thing. Immediate reward is fuel, not weakness. Strategy number 3, build a novelty on purpose. Now, novelty is something new or something novel. You heard when COVID-19 came out, it was a novel disease. It was a new disease. So this is the one that almost no expert tells ADHD people, except for psychologists or doctors like me who have ADHD, and then I tell everybody. And it is the most important thing. You are not allowed to change the form of the habit while keeping the function. Oh, what does that mean? The function is to move your body. Move your body. You have to move the body when you're developing the habit. You can't just think about the habit. The form can be a different workout every week. The function is to plan your day. The form can be a new app, a new notebook, a new spot to sit. And when you feel the boredom creeping in, you do not quit the habit. You have to refresh it. You are working with your brain's love of something new instead of fighting something repetitive. Strategy 4, reduce friction to almost zero. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Keep the guitar on the stand in the open, not in the case where you have to get it out of the closet. Every step that you remove between you and the first action makes the action far more likely to happen. Strategy 5, use accountability and body doubling. Doing the habit with another person or simply reporting to one supplies the urgency and the social reward that the task itself does not give you. A workout partner, a standing call, a shared tracker, other people are the one of the most powerful and most underused ADHD tools that there is. Strategy 6, aim for consistency, not perfection. This is the mindset that holds all of it together. Missing one day does not break a habit. Quitting after you miss one day breaks a habit. The goal is to never miss twice in a row. When you fall off, you don't just not start over from zero, you simply do the next rep. So here's the summary. Let's kind of reframe this the way that I want to leave it with you. Your brain is not broken because routines bore you. Your brain is built to seek what is alive and new and exciting and novel. And that same wiring pointed in the right direction is the source of real creativity and drive. You do not need to become a different person to build the life that works. You need habits designed for the brain that you actually have. If this gave you a new way to look at yourself, like the video, or please like the video, subscribe so that the next one reaches you, and share it with someone who needs to hear that they also are not lazy. They were just handed the wrong instruction manual. You will find much more in my book, ADHD and Emotional Mastery, and I'm giving away a free chapter. It is waiting for you in the link below, and I will see you in the next video.